stole a soda on a refill. I took $15 2 days in a row from Katie's wallet. For cigarettes. It's always for cigarettes. It's still theft. There's no excuse for theft. That's why I come as a thief. I'm stealing shit. Okay, Katie, I got fucking wasted. And I don't remember what happened. But on autopilot, I know what I did. She was being herself. I have her on camera doing things. There's witnesses of how she acts. It's inhumane for a human being to be in the environment with Katie Malone. She's supposed to be alone, working on herself. But because I need a place to stay to get this peace deal done for him upstairs, I'm using her completely in every sense. And I also, as a task, as my thesis statement for this educational process of this degree that I'm establishing, a PhD in theology. A PhD in theology includes things like exorcisms, which we've done without articulating what they were 5 times over the last 6 months. When the believer is going through an exorcism, it's when they refuse to acknowledge, or not acknowledge is the wrong word, but there's some lie that they're telling themselves, and you're trying to uncover that in the believer. And what it's doing is it's shattering their ego from this peace. They realize slowly that, and more profoundly, that God exists, the frequency at which they understand God. And I'm not God, by the way. And I fuck up all the time, including drinking too much alcoholically. I drink alcoholically. It's a stressful thing being in this, but it's okay, because I love it. He knows that Katie and I are built for this. There's no excuse for my behavior in some cases, by screaming back, by losing my cool. But most of the time, there's really no reason to say but. My heart's in the right place. She knows my heart's in the right place. And her understanding of different events is always based on a truth, i.e., I put my hands on her arms to restrain her from her ego. And her version of what that was like, when she starts to twist and has sensitive skin, her skin breaks. Never, not on her face, nothing like that, just restraining her from her own ego, which is Satan. And that same Satan had me doubt whether or not I was going to confess this, saying, oh, I can just avoid it. So I'm calling a criminal defense attorney after lunch to work out what exorcisms mean and how they work. And there are certain things that if Katie doesn't have the right environment, it would be optimal to always record someone during a spiritual growth process. So there's nothing to be mistaken. Because make no mistake, you are being recorded on the other end of this sim. That's where Michael, whatever, I won't go into the cast of characters, but Michael kicks ass. He's the only reason we got this far. He's definitely God's favorite angel, the archangel, Michael. Because I believe in that, and you don't as much. Michael hangs out with me more than anyone, I believe, on earth. But I don't know that to be true, because I can't see anything. I just know that there's no break between the two realities. You're not going to see that happen, and Michael taught me that. Michael kicks ass. Anyway, so I'm going to work out a release form for future exorcisms, so the patient acknowledges it. To work out a release form. I believe the priest or whatever, the exorciser, I don't know what the term is, but needs to have a structured way to a structured way to force truth on them. But the problem is, everyone gets free will. So you use your free will to go into the exorcism environment, and then at the moments, and I just feel like it's so specialized with Katie because she doesn't actually believe in who I am. I mean, she does, but she doesn't, and it depends on the day and it depends on the hour. So there's a lot of factors involved here, which is why I think legal representation makes sense. I was on autopilot when that happened, having a conversation. Coming the other, she's saying she doesn't realize she's doing anything wrong because she's just acting herself. She's being as she normally is, which is an awful, awful, awful person. And that's okay because she still believes in God. So I, as my thesis, have to be super fucking patient with her. And her last husband, or not her husband, but her last live-in guy was her husband, who she's going through a divorce with, and he was trying to kill her. Every man she's been with, it seems, abuses her. It's impossible to be in the same room with her without losing your temper. You know, if you spend enough time and don't have a buffer in the way. She's going to start screaming at you if you're the only one there. She has Satan pouring out of her. And we all have that evil, we're all subject to error. And she's trying her best. She just is fucked in the head. She has a sick mind. So, obviously, I would have preferred friends and family to have bought into this a little bit earlier, you know, like over a year ago when I first announced all this shit to them, but no one listened. And that's okay. But it's their fault here. Katie and I are a byproduct of people who claim to be believers, but they're overlooking the fact that I'm the son. And we're going to have a peace talk at Plano Senior High School. Former President Bush is going to moderate it. It's going to be the class of 2000, the last high school class before 9/11. Is that how it works? No, I guess that would be a 1. But the millennial class, and then there'll be other classes too. Now I just got to convince my uncle to reach out to President Bush's liaison, who I know. But if they know it's me, they're going to do background, and then I'm not. They're not going to take it seriously, which is why I need an intermediary like my uncle. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I could just reach out to the phone number on behalf of my uncle, but I'm going to be interested to see if he comes through for me. I told him, at the end of this process, I'm going to know who my friends are. And right now, I'm not going to take your phone call. I'm going to remember who my friends are. And as it stands, I'm not going to take your phone call. And then when he blanked me, I said, you look like a fucking coward right now with the screenshot on him. So anyway, hopefully he comes through, but he may not, but he said he would. Anyway. Michael. All right, anyway. So we'll see what happens there. But that's my confession. I use her for cigarettes and to spend free time with God, and I technically steal because I am addicted to smoking cigarettes. But no. I'm gonna have to get rid of that habit. Things are gonna get super colorful when I do, too. We need to have a release form for the individual. I think on this second coming bit, I don't think you need a release form because everyone can just see me talk. So it doesn't matter what you do. It just matters that you confess it. And I'm sorry about everything I've ever done.